I am completely unsure of my home here. This world doesn't seem to have a place for me or you or the rest of the vulnerable animals that lean into the vanishing magic of the thawing pool of love. What else to call it? When every cell explodes in slow motion, becoming something it is not and precisely what it has to be. How do our attachments read lines of love into this science of miracles? These gods of bloom, these turtles and hyenas, the siren songs of big birds and the little flutes falling through trees until we stop attending them and they are gone. How can they hope to be born in these words of love? All is invention, all is evolved, all is coming to an end, and all is the neutral swell of stars into such a darkness nothing can penetrate it, not even our hearts, symbolic center of some great mystery. Call it what you can. Call it what it must be called. We might face it, even in these quickening years, as if we could not be divided, cellular, a being of two beings, vibrating strands of flotsam among the ululating stars. But no, we remain utterly unsure that love, as silent and invisible as it can be, can breathe such rain and wind into each astounding tournament of the day, irrevocable as we are. Yes, I am lost.
Right? It's called Jesus Sparkle in My Elder Eye, a dance with death and death of she who bleeds for life. Jesus Sparkle in my elder eye, a dance with death, a song for life, and bleeds through tears for the death of she, who tears up during a smile, a small act of loving, so she can grow close to me, and yet in sparks and eyes she glows close to free. She awoke with a screaming cry as she fell down the stairs last night. She wore a white feather on the inner part of her right wrist from last night's encounter. As a result, she became like her ancestors, drifting in and out of subconsciousness and conscious thoughts. She stood on a mountaintop after climbing for years and screamed to the ocean of a man who left her to the sea, to the monsters in the deep, to find more simplicity, and if she was to no longer bleed. And though she stands tall, way up high, on her throne of wisdom, she falls to her knees every morning, and every night she stands back up, as she makes peace to her bedded grave. And oh, how she dances in the moonlight, and sleeps in the daytime, how she skips on rainy days, singing off-key to a song well known, and hides away on the sunny ones, dancing for the rain man to come. Come, please come, my love. She sings till she has a reason to go out when she's not captive by passing eyes. I'll never understand her contradictions, nor her pursued ambitions to break the norms, remove her ties from the lives she moves. And though I can't make sense of the reason for her lack of motivation to blend into the scene, I fall endlessly for her dips and dives into the sea of her own quirky majesty. She seems to be all right with fighting to survive, with living off the leftover worms that the birds deem not worthy of their time, and even when she can't leave the house because the shadows scream inside her mind, she can't help but fall madly for the little things, like I for her, little ways of being as crazy as a hurricane. It's why I must never let her know my intentions, to love her from afar, to let her spark in my elder eyes, and be there till my dying days. And on that day, that will be my last, she passed me on her walk to work, dressed head to toe in black and white, and as she smiled through her tears, I knew she was still a masterpiece of captivating, chaotic waves of emotions in necessary complex moments. Though she was growing silver too, and brittle like peppermint bark, I finally understood why she dyed it red, the kind that had a way to break through the gloom of her own domestic affairs of transparent tears she chose to bear. And I finally understood why she smelled like a bit of Christmas on the gloomy summer day I'd pass away. She was visiting heaven one day. Here on earth, she was living in a hell, tied to responsibility to be a lady of faith, though she was but a piece of hell unleashed and the castle in the sky called home. She was visiting due to unfortunate circumstances of her trying to end the pain she suffered to smile through day after day. The gift of her humanity was a power to be reckoned with. And as she walked, visions stalked her all the way to her quiet place among the hidden gardens. And as she laid there to rest, feeling the mint green grass melting into the damp lime green moss, she faded into another fog, opening eyes back to the earth she didn't know me in. She would have been a good friend up here, and yet I fell for her in the end, from afar, blessing her with a second chance. And when she said to me, though she didn't know I was listening, I'm a hopeless romantic who's an optimistic realist. I'll never be satisfied without learning what it's like to die. And speaking into her mind, unlike the haunting shadows, or like the song she sings while skipping in the rain, God knows you should go live life before you taste this bitter morning. Without a doubt, you'll be better off without me. I, death, can see. You are free, my darling, even on the darkest evenings. Go ahead and let in the light. She left a kiss on my forehead in the form of fading into the bed she no longer calls a grave. With some smile she blessed me with on another beginning's end, and a lightness on her shoulders as she faded away into her birthplace. She entered no more into my cup of tea. Like cream she was to me, sweet and smooth. An inspiration in hourglass vase. She lives, she breathes, she cries at times. She's human, alive, and rightfully so. Always and forever my love. She seems better off, not here nor there, but rather sparkling inside my elder eye, and dancing the way she feels most comfortable. In her fleshy home she grows to love more and more each time she too calls me a spark in her eye.
How can it rain and the sky be mostly clear? 4 apple pesticide local. I installed a gray water system consisting of 2 buckets stuck together. Extra tall. I love you.
This is a good one. I think this is a poem about lonely lovers. I don't think I need a mic. If I were to live my life in catfish forms, in scaffolds of skin and whiskers at the bottom of a pond, and you were to come by one evening when the moon was shining down into my dark home of my affection, and think, it's beautiful here by this pond. I wish somebody loved me. I'd love you and be your catfish friend and drive such lonely thoughts from your mind. And suddenly you would be at peace and ask yourself, I wonder if there are any catfish in this pond. It seems like a perfect place for them.
Waiting for the doctor to finish slicing the cancer from my father's scalp. A grand coney feast of meaty hippie hash, piled on high with wheat toast and coffee. The waitress, unlike Carmen, shamelessly flirts, lacking the tease, straight, no chaser. I eat your hair on my toast, saying nothing of the sacred moment. 2 strangers, ever so familiar.
'Cause God damn it.